I hate Duke basketball, even though Jay, my
Why?
boy. I just don't like Duke. Come on, man. I don't like Duke basketball. I like you, and I like some of the Duke. I just don't like the Duke basketball. We talk about it all the time. But when you look at it, you ask Jay the question, can that be sustained? Absolutely, 100%. Because I'm going to Duke for one thing and one thing only, to get a partial education, get connections, and go to the NBA. That's not going to change. That's almost like UCLA.
So that's already set. Yeah.
Oh, John
It's
Wooden
already
set that foundation. UCLA going to crank out NBA players. Duke, man, they spit out NBA players. 11 games that Kyrie played?
Yeah.
First pick overall. So that's never going to change. The winning side of it, 5 national championships and all that may change. But as far as cranking things out,
I guess
that's never going to
winning
change.
change. So UCLA changed. UCLA.
Well, they had their ups and downs.
Yeah, a lot of ups and
but
downs,
even when they had ups and
revamped them this
downs,
year.
though, think about it though, Jay. Even when they had their ups and downs,
It was still UCLA.
it was still UCLA.
Yeah.
It
No,
was
I
still
understand that.
Adidas. It was still UCLA basketball. And the only reason why I even bring UCLA up is because being out on the West Coast and John Wooden, the great John Wooden, and Mike Krzyzewski, I mean, that's like, right there.
Yeah,
That's at the
yeah.
top. You think about Duke, Nike basketball, the Blue Devil, if I'm not saying it right, Cameron Arena?
Cameron Indoor.
Cameron
Stadium.
Indoor. That's not going anywhere. Poly Pavilion's not going anywhere. So that, to me, is what Duke basketball is going to always
So
be
the brand now has built up strong enough that it doesn't matter, because that's the one thing about Duke was the presence of Coach K. Like if you were being like that must have been for you when you met him when he's recruiting you, like that's wow. That's Coach K. Like you have those moments where Jon Scheyer's been doing a lot of the recruiting, as we know. He's been a big part of that.
I love seeing highlights of you.
But it's not, until
Little fella.
he has that kind of success, there isn't that same aura. So maybe that's why I'm asking, is the aura part of it. But the brand is pretty much been built to the point now where it's still going to be a strong brand.
It's going to be an incredible brand. It's Jon Scheyer has to. The culture of Duke basketball is what needs to be maintained here. And I think how he markets that culture is very important now. And this is where college basketball is trending. Like you have to look at the Duke basketball program or any top-tier collegiate program like it's a Fortune 500 business. How are you marketing to the young people out there about what differentiates your product from other people, right? Yes, we have the lineage. Yes, we have the tradition. But how are you keeping people relevant? Right? And you've seen Duke try to do that with all their social media accounts. Like when Zion came, they built that up. They have one of the best social media accounts there is in college basketball. Like that's important. So I think continuing to learn what's important for the youth as they move forward about, hey, how do I maintain visibility? How do you stay in the culture? Right? Like John and I had a conversation yesterday. I'm sure John is reaching out to Jason Tatum. I'm sure John is going to reach out to Kyrie Irving. I'm sure John is going to reach out to the best Duke basketball players, R.J. Barrett here in New York. Okay, great. How do you guys – it's going to take a team atmosphere to keep this culture progressing forward to live through the line of Coach K.
Is that why it's important that Jon Scheyer was named the successor rather than having a search going after – and again, Brad Stevens stepping down with Boston, you've always talked about his Coach K and his respect and connection with Brad Stevens. He would have been an outsider if he would have been a candidate for the job. But instead, they stay with the Jon Scheyer, and we've seen this when you name a replacement, like UNC just did it, North Carolina with Hubert Davis, where he steps in, another guy, a Tar Heel through and through. Is that part important to keep that lineage?
1,000. Look, man, this is
because UCLA
business.
didn't do that after John Wooden.
Okay,
They went outside,
business, right? So, look, it's a lot easier for you don't think Cal, if he's recruiting a kid, says, look at how many NBA players I got.
Absolutely.
Oh, you follow Anthony Davis? Ask Anthony Davis about me. Oh, okay. Ask John Wall about me. Ask Boogie Cousins about me. Call up Devin Booker. Are you going to Kentucky? Devin Booker's going to follow you back. You guys talk. Like kids see that. Kids value that.
So at least John can say I was there. I was a part of this. I helped develop, Jay, I helped develop Tatum. I was a part. I recruited this dude. At least he can say that. Let me ask you this, though, Jay. Do you think for many years, and we keep going back to UCLA, many years John Wooden attended UCLA games, like literally all the time, and that was part of the culture, that was part of the marketing, that was part of all that. Do you think Coach K will be attending games
Yes.
on a regular basis? So you could even point to the fact, well, not even point,
just
people
keep the
know
presence,
he's
yeah.
in the building.
He's here.
He's in the building.
I've known this man since I've been 16 years old. Granted, your relationship is fluid over the years, right? Being part of the media, being asked to be objective about our school, things of that sort. I know where my loyalty lies always. But, you know, basketball is what he does. It's who he is. The two things I've heard him talk most consistently about over the last, 30 years of my life have been Mickey, that's his wife, his daughters, and basketball. That's what his life is. So I don't see Coach K going anywhere. It's already named Coach K Court, Cameron Indoor. That's him. They're always going to be synonymous with one another, and he's always going to be around to help with recruits, to help with Jon Scheyer, to help with whatever the next step is. He's never leaving that program.
See, there you go then. It won't change.
Which it will be interesting because, the only touch point I have here on how to deal with something like that, and I think that's also going to be how does Jon handle that, right? Like Dean Smith was around the hallways of North Carolina for a long time. Yeah. That comes with its pros and its cons.
Yes.
Right? So how will Jon handle that is a question that we're going to have to kind of follow as time moves forward.
Yeah, it's just, again, the amazing run that he had there at Duke. Actually, his college coaching career started at West Point, working under and playing also under Bob Knight. It's just an incredible story that he is, but where Duke goes from here, obviously, is a huge part of the story as well.